up your ass, you'll floss your teeth with my shoelaces, nigga. Play with me, bruh. Don't play with me, bruh. Don't play with mine, bruh. Don't play with mine. Just don't play with mine.
I remember how you and Wallow were crying. You and Wallow were crying. Oh, my son got killed. Oh, you were crying. Now you talking about snitching. You goddamn right I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Gang, I got family. I got willing to risk their lives and freedom to die by me and mine. You hear me? Why don't play with me, man?
Charleston White built his whole image on shock value and reckless disrespect, but this time he aimed at the wrong target. He came straight for T.Y.'s son, King Harris, and crossed a line that even his most loyal viewers couldn't defend.
To say about my son, what some grown man had to say about my son, man. Cause somebody please, just pull me up to speed, man. Just pull me up to speed. How some grown man had some to say about my son. Just pull me up to speed on that, man. Just pull me up to speed on that, man. What sucker ass grown as wasted his whole life doing absolutely nothing. Got something to say about my son at the beginning of his adult life.
For years, he's been throwing shots at King, even dragging Trayvon Martin's name into twisted threats that left people furious. When you start targeting a man's child, that's a boundary you don't step over. T.I. finally stepped up, not just as a rapper, but as a father ready to protect his son. And the message he sent Charleston couldn't be clearer. Charleston thought it was just another rant, calling King a nobody just to get clicks. But this time, he miscalculated big time. People are saying his bitterness comes from watching King earn respect and attention that Charleston never got, even back in his so-called prime. At 48 years old, with the platform shrinking by the day and legal issues stacking up, Charleston's jealousy is showing heavy. He's been aiming his frustration at King's rising influence.
I'm a nobody. Your son a nobody now.
But now the man who bragged about fearing no one is reportedly too nervous to even log on, realizing he might have pushed things into dangerous territory. T.I. didn't pull punches either. He called Charleston straight up miserable for dragging kids just to stay relevant.
I ain't in no gang. I got family. I got who willing to risk their lives and freedom to die by me and mine. You hear me? Why don't play with me, man? Don't play with my child.
And the contrast is sharp. While King at 20 already has respect, opportunities, and family backing him, Charleston's resume is full of arrests, snitching on his own people, and humiliating antics like pepper spraying cats and getting whooped at shows. T.I. ripped Charleston's so-called legacy to pieces, calling it exactly what it is, a clown act. And the truth burns deep. King represents everything Charleston will never be. Young, talented, loved, and backed by a family that rides for him. Charleston White keeps aiming at successful black families just to keep his name buzzing, but meanwhile, his own world is falling apart.
I put my foot so far up your ass, you'll floss your teeth with my Don't play with me, bruh. Don't play with me, bruh.
After holding back for months, T.I. finally broke his silence with a chilling warning. Play with my child. That's it. No games, no passes, no second chances. But Charleston's wild rants aren't just about jealousy. They sound like the cries of a man in total free fall. His quick rise back in 2023 already feels like a distant memory, replaced by courtroom dates and public meltdowns. In October 2024, he got arrested in Tarrant County, Texas, on charges of animal cruelty and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Reports claim he pepper sprayed a cat, something so outrageous it even stunned his own followers. Being held without bond proved authorities weren't taking his antics lightly.
Yeah, and he going to jail again. He ain't grew up tough like his daddy.
Then in February 2025, the cycle continued. Another arrest, this time for assault. He got released after a few days, but the pattern was loud and clear. Repeat offenses, reckless behavior, and no signs of changing. Meanwhile, T.I. doubled down, making it plain nobody's going to use his son as bait for clout. People close to T. I say he's ready to protect his family by any means necessary. And when you stack Charleston's messy past, snitching on friends, constant arrests, ugly fights, the irony is hard to miss.
I'm in that Raised a yellow. Yeah. That nigga T.I. son say.
A man drowning in betrayal and legal drama really thinks he's in position to judge King Harris? That's pure hypocrisy. Charleston's troubled backstory sheds light on his twisted path. Born in Fort Worth, Texas in 1977, his early years were nothing but chaos. At just 14, he took part in a robbery that ended in a man losing his life, landing him 7 years in juvenile detention. While locked up, he even lost his right eye in an accident. Growing up without a father only added to the pain, fueling the anger that shaped the man he became. That pain didn't turn into growth. It turned into the loud provocateur we see today. He didn't climb through talent or real community work. He built his name off shock value, off mocking the dead like DMX and George Floyd just to grab attention. His constant shots at young men like King Harris aren't random. They're rooted in wounds that never healed. Charleston himself has admitted he grew up feeling unloved and unwanted, and now he lashes out at successful young black men who live with the respect, love, and stability he never knew.
Boy, and who did what, who, man, we was about to whoop when you come back down here from telling. Yo, I can see you had a soft up.
Watching King step into young adulthood with confidence eats Charleston alive because it's a life he never had. That's why he can't let King breathe in peace. This whole feud didn't start from strategy, it came from desperation. A fading man clinging to shock tactics just to stay relevant. By late 2022, Charleston's buzz was already slipping, his online momentum running dry. So he went looking for a bigger target, and he made the worst mistake of his career, going after T.Y.'s family. On October 8, 2022, Charleston unloaded one of his trademark unhinged rants, setting off a saga that spun way beyond his control. This time, he didn't just fire at King Harris, he dragged Boozy Badazz's son Tootie Raw into it too.
This is they called the laws, and they came. He older.
Both young men had recent run-ins with the law, and King's September 2022 arrest gave Charleston the opening he pounced on like a hungry predator. But instead of offering the guidance he always pretends to stand for, Charleston went low. He mocked King's looks, laughed at his future, and predicted failure with twisted excitement. That wasn't tough love, it was straight bullying, and it exposed what really fuels him. He thrives on tearing down young black men who shine in ways he never could. King Harris, though, wasn't about to sit quiet. On October 9th, just one day after Charleston's rant, King hopped on Instagram Live and fired back. He didn't just hurl insults, he calmly called him out, labeling him a snitch and a coward who preyed on the youth for clout. And to make it sting worse, King exposed Charleston's history of cooperating with law enforcement and even bragging about it. At just 18, King showed more composure than a man pushing 50, and that humiliation hit Charleston harder than any insult. His tough guy mask cracked wide open in front of everybody because he couldn't handle being outclassed by a teenager, but instead of backing down, Charleston spiraled. On October 10th, 2022, he went even darker, dropping threats and dragging Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman's names into the mess. That was the moment he crossed into dangerous territory that should have ended his career for good.
Don't play with mine. I ain't finna say no name. I don't play police game. If I go to jail, it's gonna be for something. It's gonna be for something. I don't play no police game, man. I don't play no police game.
This wasn't trolling anymore. It was a grown man targeting a rapper's child while weaponizing one of the most painful cases in modern black history. Fans were disgusted, calling it the final straw. Using racial tragedy as a weapon against a teenager showed just how twisted and dangerous Charleston's shock jock act had really become. Charleston didn't stop at reckless talk. He went even further. He bragged about calling up Atlanta police and even reaching out to Fulton County DA Fannie Willis, trying to get King Harris locked up. For a man who constantly claims he's about helping the youth, his eagerness to toss a teenager into the system exposed him as a fraud. It confirmed what people had been saying all along. Charleston doesn't guide young men. He tries to break them down. When I caught wind of those threats, his patience ran out instantly.
T.I. and Charleston White are back in the news. It seems like they're setting up a boxing match between each other. Guess T.I. didn't like what Charleston White had to say about his son, King.
On October 10th, 2022, he clapped back with fire, making it clear Charleston had crossed the line that could never be undone. This wasn't rap beef. This wasn't about clout. This was a father stepping into the battlefield to defend his child with raw, unstoppable energy. At that time, T.I. was busy doing comedy shows and business moves outside of music. But the second Charleston put King's safety on the line, Tip flipped right back into warrior mode. He told the world he'd risk his freedom, his name, even his entire legacy if that's what it took to protect his son. That's the difference here. T.I. has everything to lose, while Charleston's got nothing but a loud mouth and a desperate need for attention. After the threats, there was even a phone call set up on October 10th to calm things down. But Charleston fumbled the chance. Instead of de-escalating, he bragged that the call didn't work and twisted it into more drama. Then he pulled his most clownish move yet, challenging T.I. to a celebrity boxing match. He demanded Steve Harvey as the referee and even said, "T, I should wear an eye patch during the fight." Picture that. This is a man who threatened a child, then tried to turn it into a circus act for pay-per-view clout. That right there revealed everything about Charleston's twisted mindset.
Everybody know, homie. That man say he a 7-time convicted felon in one song. 7 convicted felons. I would have said 7.
To him, it was entertainment, while T.I. was focused on one thing, protecting his family. And when the boxing stunt didn't land, Charleston grabbed at an old, tired angle, accusing T.I. of being a federal informant because of his 2007 Crime Stoppers campaign after his gun case. But the hypocrisy couldn't be louder. Charleston himself admitted to testifying against co-defendants and bragging about working with police when he was younger. So when he tried to smear T.I. for doing a community safety campaign, it was pure projection. Everything Charleston accused T.I. of, he had done way worse. The more he pushed the Crime Stoppers angle, the more desperate and exposed he looked. By November 2022, T.I. had already answered the noise through music. He slid onto Juicy Fruit's track Step In, and many saw it as a slick diss aimed straight at Charleston White. The bars cut deep but stayed polished. T.I. dismantled Charleston's credibility without ever dropping into the gutter. That's the beauty of it. Pure artistry doing the damage. Charleston, completely missing the point, turned around and praised the record. He even begged to be on the remix. That's how thirsty he was for validation. Even being dissed by a superstar felt like a win to him. Proof that someone of importance actually noticed him. That's the cycle Charleston lives off. Humiliation doesn't humble him, it fuels him. Every clapback, every insult, he flips into content like it's oxygen. Without attention, Charleston is nothing. That's why he keeps circling back to King Harris, waiting for any stumble, any mistake, just to swoop in and attack with cruelty. Then when the backlash hits, he flips the script and plays the victim. Charleston's whole playbook is predictable. Provoke, mock, then cry for sympathy. That's the only way he knows how to exist. And his obsession with King didn't burn out in 2022. It just kept coming back, lined up with King's life changes or struggles. Each time King hit the headlines, Charleston moved like a vulture, circling the story, waiting to pounce with another wave of insults just to stay relevant.
Man who ain't got going on, ain't got no real talent, can't do nothing but kick up dust and wait on that fall down so they get dirty and some clout get to them. I know that's how niggas get paid.
That's the disturbing part. He waits for weakness. Whenever King shows vulnerability, Charleston turns it into ammo. For a man who constantly says he uplifts the youth, his actions show the opposite. He's not mentoring, he's hunting. And if you peel back the layers, you see it's bigger than King alone. Charleston's real fixation is tearing down successful black families. He's admitted himself. He grew up unloved, unwanted, rejected. Those scars turned into bitterness that never healed. No father figure, no stability, no pride to lean on. So when he sees T.I. giving his kids the kind of love and guidance he never had, it cuts him to the core. That's why King is his favorite target. King symbolizes everything Charleston never reached: youth, love, opportunity, and a bright future he can't touch. Instead of facing his own trauma, Charleston projects it, dragging others down into his misery. That's why he could make threats against a teenager, then flip it into a circus boxing idea. It showed just how warped his boundaries are. To him, nothing is sacred. Everything's content, even a child's safety. Meanwhile, T.I. showed the exact opposite energy. Each time Charleston tried to push the feud for clicks, Tip stood firm like a father protecting his legacy. Charleston wanted chaos for views, but T.I. made one thing clear: his son's safety will never be for entertainment. And that's exactly why the public rallied behind him. The streets always respect real fatherhood, not clout chasing dressed up as truth. What's crazy is how Charleston keeps flipping his attacks just to stretch his fame a little longer. One week he mocks King's looks, the next he calls T.I. an informant, then he threatens legal action. It's a merry-go-round of nonsense designed to keep people talking. But the harder he tries, the more obvious it becomes. He's not fearless, he's desperate. Even his own supporters cringe when he crosses lines that no entertainer should. His comments about Trayvon Martin prove there are no limits to his recklessness. And once you step into that territory, there's no walking it back. That's why his online presence feels shaky. Every live stream looks like another meltdown waiting to explode. And through it all, King Harris has never folded. He keeps pushing forward, carving out his own lane despite the constant jabs. When he clapped back in 2022, it wasn't just defense, it was a declaration. He refused to let trolls define him. He stood tall, stayed composed, and exposed Charleston's immaturity for the world to see. Think about it, watching a teenager handle pressure with grace while a grown man unravels in public says everything you need to know. King's got family, opportunity, and a future wide open ahead of him. Charleston, he's got controversy, mugshots, and regret. The irony stings. He claims to be an activist guiding youth, but how can you mentor kids when you publicly attack them, try to get them locked up, and even threaten their lives? His past, violence, animal cruelty charges, endless legal trouble, shows one thing: he never grew past chaos. Instead of healing, Charleston monetized dysfunction, packaging his own spiral as entertainment. But now the world sees it for what it is. His story doesn't look like leadership, it looks like wasted potential. This feud laid it bare. On one side, you've got T.I., a father, a provider, a man ready to risk everything to protect his child. On the other side, Charleston White, a provocateur clinging to attention by dragging kids into his storm. The contrast couldn't be sharper, which is exactly why the people side with T.I. You don't need to bump his music to understand it. A father's duty to protect his family outweighs the antics of a man who's already lost everything that truly matters. Charleston thought targeting King Harris would give him another viral run, but all he exposed was the fragility of his own platform. T.I.'s warning was crystal clear: play with my child and there will be consequences. That's a message any parent can understand. When family is attacked, all bets are off. Charleston learned that lesson the hard way, and the scars from this feud will outlast any rant, any live stream, any stunt. Because when you strip it down, Charleston's story is one of wasted opportunities and chosen chaos. T.I.'s story is one of fatherhood, loyalty, and standing firm for his blood. And King Harris, his journey is just beginning, marked by resilience, maturity, and a strength that proves he's more than ready for the spotlight. No troll can dim that light. And that's it, fam. If you rocked with this breakdown, make sure you like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share it with somebody. And I'll catch you on the next one.